Supriya Sule ji.
Thank you very much. Actually, I'd like to speak in short, as you said, because of the paucity of time, in two parts of the bill. First part is, of course, we support this bill, the first part of the bill, which is the bill part, which you have talked about, the ST reservation, wholeheartedly. I come from a state which has always talked and led from the front with social change, be it B.R. Ambedkar, be it Shahu Maharaj, or be it Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. So all these nuances which everybody's talked about, the challenges of ST, SCs, Dalits that they have faced, I think the beginning or absolutely the sunrise of all these issues was started in my state, which is Maharashtra, and given a direction to bring in social change in the country. So we wholeheartedly support this, and I do agree with the minister that this does need to be extended. Inclusion is not bringing people into what already exists. It's making a new space, a better space for everybody. And I think this whole house wholeheartedly realizes that we do need to bring this inclusively. And to quote Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, there is no doubt in my opinion that unless you change your social order, you can achieve very little in the way of progress. And that has happened even in our state, be it MLAs, be it Jilla Parishad members, be it Panchayat Samitis, be it Sarpanch. The SC/ST reservation has brought in a lot of new leadership which probably would have never got an opportunity to come and lead from the front. But there is only one small issue I'd like to bring to the notice of this House, and I would like to take ideas and thoughts from everybody. That, which about Mehtabji also talked, there was a survey about reservations, and there's a reply of a question on the 18/11/2019, it's an unstarred question of 81. And the reply of the Tribal Affairs Minister is to Ashok Nete. The reply is that the Tribal Minister says that there is no such survey conducted regarding how reservation has impacted. This is official, I'll put it on the table if you want. And I too myself have concerns because a lot of time with reservation, because it's by rotation, a lot of new leaders do come, they do get an opportunity. And then once the reservation is removed, that lady or that gentleman don't get an opportunity, they get pushed back. So is there some way we can find to either educate them or bring them from the reserve into an open category where they still work in an organization and build the nation forward? I think there are a lot of good leaders who come through reservation, but once the reservation goes away, are sort of lost in the crowd. So is there something more we can do for people like this? So I think it's not something which specifically comes into this legislation, but since you're looking at bringing this reservation, let's look at a holistic way where we can keep them included. That's the whole idea of this bill, is inclusion. And I think that's what we need to put our minds to. I won't repeat any of the points that others have made. We all have data on what the education system is, what challenges we have all had. But there is one point besides the SC/ST which is of very serious concern to me, and which all the earlier speakers have said. And of course, you being a very eminent lawyer, with your permission and indulgence, I would like to use a quote, that this is the skill in achieving one's ends. This is not for you, but I'll, with your permission, use the word. Skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or by evasion. Deceit is not, no, it's not by deceit. I took his permission before saying it. Because I do understand that you said, if you read the bill does not talk about the Anglo Indians. But in the annexure as well as the statement, it says that it is talked about them. So you don't put it on the list, but by not putting them on the list, it's understood there. I think Mehtabji very aptly put it, that it is very surreptitiously sort of kept them out, is my personal opinion, if you could throw some light on it. I'm not a lawyer. What is upsetting is just three quick questions I would like to ask him regarding this. Is this government take great pride in talking about federalism and how much they want to empower the states, and they do not want to give any power here. Now, my straight question to the Honorable Minister is that have you asked or consulted the states, as well as have you, the stakeholders been consulted? I mean, I know I'm using a very harsh word, but when we are talking about democracy, then doesn't this sound a little dictatorial that you are taking decisions for states without even consulting them? There are 13 states that need to be consulted. Have you asked them? If you have asked, what are their reservations or what are the ideas or thoughts they have given? If you could please kindly put them on the table. Second is the stakeholders. Have you consulted the stakeholders? Many states have. I come from a state of Maharashtra. A lot of people talked about school. I think Professor Roy talked about the Anglo Indian schools that they all run. My own children go to that school. It's one of the top schools in the country. And a lot of ministers, I mean, the earlier chief minister's daughter was also in the school, and we take pride in it. We don't put them because it's an Anglo school, but because it's a very good school. And they run many institutes like this all over the world. So I don't want to, all over India. I don't want to go into data. A lot of people have already given the data. So I think, why are we doing this? First, what about the operate federalism? What about the stakeholders? And one big question which comes to my mind is that yesterday, the Honorable Home Minister vociferously defended his pain and this government's support for minorities in other countries, which is a wonderful, large-hearted attitude. I really respect it, appreciate it, and compliment the government for it. But now when it's our turn to protect our minorities, then you are taking such harsh issues. Isn't that a contradiction?
That's them.
I mean, aapka doodh. So let's put it all on the table, because if you are reaching out to other people, I expect with full humility and humbly that why are you leaving our people out? I'm not going to get into the caste, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christian, whether it's any, I don't want to get into that, because for me humans are humans. Caste is something, race is something that you practice on your own. So if he could kindly clarify, he is a very eminent lawyer. I know you'll always beat us as words, but I think he is. But I would like to request you to clarify this. I wholeheartedly support and looking forward to put our minds together to see how much more we can empower the ST/SCs in reservation and representation. But definitely the Anglo-Indian issue must be addressed clearly by you to put it on record, because if you don't include them as Bill, what Mehtab ji said is absolutely right. Without saying no, it's an answer. You're shutting the door to them. Very simple way. So please don't do that. Everybody has a right to reservation, and let's not get into numbers. You could be very small. The smaller the people, the weaker the people, the bigger voice that you give to them is what yesterday the Home Minister said. So I hope the Honorable Minister takes one leaf from yesterday's Home Minister's vision and takes a similar view forward for the minorities in this state. Thank you.